I'm convinced Bozeman, Montana has the world's best access to world-class adventure. It was unbelievable. I walked out into this ice shelf. And as I was walking, the ground gave out from underneath of me. My gut shot up through my throat, and I thought to myself, Adam is going to die. Once in a while, it gets cold enough for the Yellowstone River to freeze over. And when it's frozen over, it's absolutely unbelievable. It brings so much life and vitality to this region of Montana. It's crucial. If you really want world-class adventure, this is where you live. This is where you live. When I approached this photo shoot, I'm like, what? I want to capture what Lewis and Clark may have seen during the coldest times in Montana, when the river freezes over. And to think, as I was walking down there, I was just imagining, like, what would it have been like to be on a wagon and have to make your way across the Yellowstone River. I dared to walk in the shoes of those individuals that went before me. And seeing the ice fields dammed up was unbelievable. I wish you could have been there with me. I wish you could have seen it as I saw it and smelt it and just had that whole experience. It's you can never bring that experience through a TV or through a phone. It's something you've got to experience in person. And it is incredible. So as I was down exploring these ice fields, I made sure that I wasn't out on the river, because what happens is sometimes you go out on the river and there's big old sheets of ice, like 6-8 inches thick. When there's ice on the river and it's all piled up, there's the potential that you can fall through. And individuals that have fallen through don't come out because they fall through the ice, and it's not like a lake. You have a river going at a decent clip that carries you away underneath the ice, and you will not live. So when going out into these areas, you've got to really respect the territory that you're in and the environment around you. You have to have respect for it, because the person that does not have respect will end up dead. And so I approach these things as carefully as possible. I had a big lapse in judgment. So I was walking and I saw this slight indentation in the ice, and it was a flat indentation. It was kind of it was frozen over, but it was also glossy because the sun came out and it started melting the very top of the ice. So you get this glossy surface. And through that glossy surface, I could see a reflection of the mountains within the gloss on the ice. I just knew, and it's so subtle in the photograph. And it's something you can stare at and you're like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And all of a sudden, these mountains will flip upside down and start to stare at you as the entire mountain range is upside down. It is epic. And when I saw that immediately, like, I was standing there in awe. I was just frozen because I was just frozen in that moment, and the hair stood up on the back of my arms. And I grabbed out my camera and I bent down to take a picture, and it was the wrong angle. It wouldn't show up in the photograph. So I thought to myself, like, how can I get this in the photograph? The only way is to go out on the ice shelf. And I looked at that and I thought to myself, man, this probably isn't the best idea, but I'm going to be really careful. It'll be worth it. And I'll jump back safe. No big deal. And so I very carefully took my first step, and I stepped on the ice and made sure it was firm, and then I stomped on it and everything was okay. And then I took another step, and at that time both my feet were on top of the Yellowstone River ice field. And I was suspended there, somewhere between the water and the air above me. And I carefully took another step and another step. And I was feeling okay. And then I bent down to go take a picture. And the ground out from underneath me fell. And in that moment of falling, I thought to myself, Adam, you traded everything for this photo. Your judgment lapsed, you will become like the rest who have fallen under the ice. I was terrified in that moment. Pure terror. It wasn't like it cracked and then broke. I had no warning. It just shattered. For some reason, somehow, the water level didn't reach that, and there was another layer of ice underneath it, about 18 inches down. Or more, because it was almost up to my thigh that I fell. And it was so surreal. I stood there just frozen. Swallowing big, I pulled myself back out and went back to shore after I took the picture. It was after I took the picture. The photograph turned out, and I would have to say that the subtleties of it make it probably one of my most favorite photographs to date. The moment where I almost died, but didn't.